think of it.
What do you have in that jar there?
Oh,
we'll get into
this?
that. Well,
Yeah.
that's your tool jar, and then that other jar, and then you have a bottle. So there's all kinds of
There's
stuff.
all sorts of tools in here that I use every day. So this is my tools that I keep right here because I use them all the time. This is actually clay slip. It's just clay and water
And a peanut butter jar.
smooshed up so that I can use it for slipping things together. And that's another workshop we'll go into, slipping and scoring so that things don't fall apart, so they hold together during the drying and firing process.
Very important.
Yeah, it's so these basic techniques are what's going to keep your work together, and it's some of the most basic stuff you need to know, which will be one of our workshops that will be coming up and starting to do pretty soon. This is a slip trailer, clay slip bottle, and it's used for a lot of my decorations that I do.
Okay.
I do a lot of nautical themes on my work. I've got honey, I've got a pie plate out on the counter. Oh, there you go. Okay.
There's a couple of these.
So the clay slip bottle I use to make this so-called coral, and we'll be teaching about making press molds. Like this little tiny seahorse is actually a Hawaiian seahorse that was gifted to us, some dried seahorses. And so we made press molds of this so that we could reproduce it. And that is, what is this, a bunny mug?
Has some trailing on it.
And so I use the clay slip trailing on that to make grass. So it's one of my favorite tools. Once again, I use it all the time.
Here's the coral.
The yeah, as finished pieces, the clay slip it's all, the decoration is done at the leather hard stage. So we'll come in and we'll trim out the bottom. The clay stamps are used to decorate, and so I make my own clay stamps and use decoration. I use seashells. Then I come in when it's leather hardened, trimmed out, apply the clay slip, apply my decorations, and then the turtle is a completely different latex process we go through for glazing.
That's another story.
And that would be another video for sure. But and we fire everything here at the shop to oxidation cone 6. So everything is food safe and vitreous and oven proof and fully functional. That's what we do, and we have pretty good results, and I don't know what else to tell at the moment.
Well, I think that's a pretty good intro. I think there's like endless topics that we can cover, but we want to just really start at the very beginning for really anyone, all ages. But I do want to gear this also towards homeschool kids right now who, just all the activities are super limited, and, everything is changing. So I wanted to offer something that we've been asked for a long time.
Long time, yeah.
It's a constant demand that's hard to fill because that's so much intimate time is required to really teach. And so this will be a great way that we can share, but especially Mom's, Rika, extensive knowledge. I mean, there's countless workshops that we can do. We can dive really deep into all the things, and then we don't just do pottery. There's other things that we can do too, art, for your kids, for you, hobby, whatever you like. But we just wanted to start at the very beginning and to offer something different that I haven't seen, but I do know that I've been asked for many times. And already we have some people who are really looking forward to our content, and so that's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's really encouraging. So please keep the encouragement and support coming. We really appreciate, we wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for, you guys out there watching this that are actually interested in wanting to learn. So I just wanted to say thank you. And we'll dive into plenty of other stuff, yeah.
I'm here doing this because my daughter strong-armed me. I want you to know that right now.
Oh, jeez.
The one thing I want to tell you too is that for a lot of people, if you cannot
Maybe.
find kilns available, what I really want to do is a small
We'll do,
workshop on
yeah.
making handmade paper, clay. And you can make small batches at home, and the beauty of paper clay is that I use it in workshops all over county that didn't have kilns. And we would do certain projects where they're not, for obviously paper clay can be fired in the kiln if you have one, but what we're really doing with paper clay is it's a great medium for children for doing sculptures or little dishes or whatever, but you don't have to fire it in the kiln because it dries so super hard that it's just extremely durable. Obviously not for water or food or use like that, but for absolute creation time, and you could even go in there later on, the kids could, and paint them with acrylic paints. So, or
And
oil
eventually
paints
it
or
could
whatever.
Be fired, you know?
Oh yeah, if you ever found a kiln, you could fire them.
If you found a kiln, you have to
Yeah.
really, we'll go over, different clays and firing, temperatures, and how important that is, especially if you're going to be locating a local studio to you. It's really important that, like, one of your very first steps is to go in and to talk to the people at the studio who possibly will be helping you do your firing, because those are the people you're going to depend on for what really ultimate, what clay should you be using,
Yes.
what
Yeah.
temperature are they firing at, you don't want to we do mid-fire here, so we have all this low fire clay that we don't even want to touch because it is reactive. It'll cause explosions. There's stuff we gotta, it'll take out other people's stuff. We'll talk about all the things, but there's a lot that can go wrong. So we really want to teach, best practices, and that really is going to start with material. And a lot of people have already asked about material. How do I work with clay if I don't have firing and whatever? And we'll go all over that probably in its own video, talking about different types of clay. I mean, there's certain types that can be fired in the oven. You can fire in
Air dry clays.
air dry clays.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff out on the market. There is metal clays.
Sculpty.
You could make little tiny jewelry pieces and have someone fire it, and you could have jewelry. Like, there's some really cool products out there now. And, I just saw Duncan has this whole series that's a non-fire glaze. It's like a paint, but it looks like glaze. So there's like all these products that you can get, and we'll cover them, hopefully all of them eventually. But yeah, I think that's like more than enough to get you guys like interested and started hopefully on your own little studio.
If you want to comment, please do, or suggestions,
Please
do.
ask questions.
We're wide open to it. Thank you.
We're not really, we're learning with you as far as like how best to accomplish this teaching process. So I'm going to be working with the local group of kids already that have reached out. They want to do workshops, and so I'll be testing out our videos as we go and making sure that like everything is covered in them and there's not like a whole bunch of extra questions of like stuff we missed or whatever. So I will be constantly like product testing our videos and making sure that like we're not missing anything, and part of that is also the participation and everyone like asking for what you want. Already we have a lot of requests for stuff that rattle workshops and what to do with a dry block of clay and just like all kinds of things that I hadn't even thought of that I'm really excited about. So.
Special thanks to Coda, who's behind the camera.
Thank you for these IT support back there.
Yep.
Coda, shout out to Coda. I think that's all for now. We'll
Yeah.
take a little break and then we'll see what else we're gonna do.
Thanks for taking a watch.